stats this month are like banana pants. When I saw like how many people had downloaded our episodes, I was like, what? Anyway, yeah, looking at the stats, you guys are amazing. I think March is the largest number ever in almost 2 years that we have gotten. So thank you. Keep listening, keep sharing. We really, really appreciate it. But today we have a great guest on, and it's somebody who has been in business for what, 5 years?
Yeah, almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Sarah owns Urban Izzy. She originally started the business in Texas, but then she moved to Folly Beach, South Carolina. So she has tons of experience. And with her success and with her mobile retail business, she also joined other fashion trucks to open up a pop up store. She did this twice, and they were very successful as well. So you'll hear her speak more on that in the episode.
Yeah, I think let's just get to it. Let's do it.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody. We have Sarah here from Urban Izzy. Welcome, Sarah.
Hey. Hello.
Hello. So before we just dig into the truck and how that all got started, can you tell us a little bit about you before the truck?
Sure. Okay. Let's see. I was a realtor. I was a real estate agent, and I also worked in several different boutiques. I was an assistant manager at one, so I had a little retail background, but mainly I was doing real estate, and I had opened my own small little company with that called Houston Modern Leasing. And so that was what I was doing before the truck. But my passion has always been fashion and like design and, opening a store has always been what I've wanted to do since I was little. I mean, I've always I remember like playing around like in the kitchen, and I'd like ring up things like from the cabinet, like flour and corn, and say like, ooh, 5 cents, 10 cents, So, I mean, it's just been in my blood that I wanted to like run a store. I know it's weird, but anyway, yep. So that's how that's what I was doing beforehand. And then, yeah.
So what year did you start the truck, and what made you say like, okay, you know what? Instead of opening a brick and mortar, I'm going to open a fashion truck.
Okay. So I basically started, I would say 2011, I purchased a truck, and I had always wanted, like a store. That was my passion and my dream, but I didn't know how I was going to afford one. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I started kind of jotting down some things, and a store was just way out of my budget. So I was like, brainstorming, doing all this stuff. And the brainstorming actually is kind of funny because I was sitting with my friend, and we were at I think we were at a bar or something. And then there was a food truck there, and somehow we were talking about food trucks, and we were, laughing, having some girl time. And we were like joking around how cool it would be if the food truck had roller skates. I don't know. This sounds really weird, but like if they had roller skates and could like bring us out food. And so we started talking about different ideas. And somehow that night I went home, and I remember thinking, oh my God, do it in a truck. And the light bulb went off. My friend claims we talked about it. I don't remember that at all, but I wish I did. But I remember going home, and all I could think about was fashion truck. And I was literally up all night. I mean, could not sleep, Googling fashion trucks. And I literally looked at tons of them, and I saved tons of them on my computer, and I was just so floored. And then the next day I was like, this is it. And it just felt right. And it needed to be done like right then. I was so happy about it. So, and that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to take the leap. And I had a little bit of savings, not a whole bunch. And my grandfather had given me $5,000. He had left me that. And it was when somebody leaves you something, it's kind of like you want to use that for something that's going to make them proud. And so I was like, I got to do something with this money. And it was perfect. I could buy a truck with it and turn it into this awesome store. And so I ended up, I was going to buy an Airstream first, was my first thing. And in Tennessee, and I was in Texas, and I was like, okay, I'm going to buy an Airstream, and I'm going to drive and go get it. And I don't even have a truck to pull an Airstream. I'm going to just go get it anyway with a Home Depot truck. This is how, like, I was literally, like, on my way to get it without even a truck. And yeah, it's crazy. I had talked to the guy there. His name was Roke, and we're still Facebook friends to this day. And I explained to him what I wanted to do with the Airstream. And he's like, oh, my God, that sounds so cool, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he was stoked about it. But he said, look, I think what you're doing is awesome, but I think an Airstream may not be the best fit for you. I think it's going to be too hard for you to get around town and pull it, just being you by yourself. And it's a lot of work. As far as a big city goes, you should really look into a truck. And I was like, wow, okay. And so he totally told me to go look for a truck. And I think he knew I was acting rash because this had just, happened, and I didn't even have a truck to pull it. So then I decide, okay, yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy.
But you were committed. You were like, I don't know what, but I'm going to get something, and I'm going to do this thing.
Exactly. I was like, no matter what, it will work out. I will go trade in I was like, I'm going to trade in my little Honda and get a beater. I don't care. Something to pull it, And, So anyway, he was awesome. I mean, he was this guy, don't even know him, totally, wouldn't sell me his Airstream. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe this is a sign. And then I ended up looking on Craigslist, and I found this guy named Joel, and he was a food truck guy, made food trucks. And so I was like, oh, sweet, let me call him, and maybe he can give me some pointers. And when I called him, he was like, come stop by and we'll talk. And so I went by there, and me and Joel hit it off. He was this awesome guy, had two daughters, little girls, and a wife. They're all awesome. Anyway, so we hit it off, and he's like, I want to help you. I said, look, I'm on a budget. And he's like, okay, we'll make it work. We can do this. And I was like, all right. So he was just amazing. And so then what we did is he was going to help me find a truck that would be good for me, and something that he thought would be a good fashion truck fit or whatever. And so, and honestly, when I told him about it, he was so stoked because he hadn't heard of this at that time. He hadn't even heard of a fashion truck. So he was like, what? Really, yeah, he was like, what? No kitchen equipment and all this. He was excited to branch into that. And so then that's when I, after I had talked to him, he's like, look, let me search for you a truck and your budget. And he kind of took over and kind of helped me, which was awesome. And he called me a couple days ago, and he's like, look, I found this one. I think you'd really like it. Go drive by and see what you think. And I said, okay. I drove by, fell in love with it right off the bat. Joel helped me. He put air conditioning in it, and he also put he made it electric. So everything, there's a breaker box, and I can plug in things. It's really neat. And he put a window, which is great because it opens it up a bit. And we were both just kind of new with it. I had already kind of drawn out, some ideas for the inside. And I brought my best friend, which is she's not my partner as far as we're not partners, but she was so a partner for this startup for me. She was amazing. I mean, she was just truly by my side helping me. And I don't think I could have done it without her. So anyway, my best friend, Jessica, came with me, and she's got a fashion. She doesn't have maybe she does have a fashion degree. I don't know what she has a degree in, but she's just, she's really good at it. She actually, not to brag too much on her, but she just did I know she's my inspiration. She just did what's her name? Diana Ross's wardrobe. So she's definitely she's worked her way up in fashion. She's done Dolly Parton, all these people in Houston anyway. So she has she has a vintage store in Houston. So she is very good at, fashion stuff. And so I called her, and we've known each other since we were 3. And I was like, Jessica, help me with all this. Can you, or whatever? And we had a blast, she's like, yes, I'll help you, and,
that's amazing to get that. 'Cause then you're not just doing it alone. It's always good to have a friend.
Yeah, no, I without her, her sister, my sister, so many friends, came to help. And like, I don't know what I don't know if I could have done it without all of them. So it was amazing that they were there and all their support. And so basically she came with me and she helped me like with Joelle and just like put all this stuff, she helped me like design the truck. So everything's kind of against the wall. So it's more open inside. And I really like that now because I can have like 20 people in there or however many, I love it when it's packed like that because it's like, it's a fun feeling when your truck has, you can't even see to the back of it because there's so many people. I love that feeling.
Well, I love just like your truck too, because like, just for the listeners out there, it has like this little cutout window with like a little shade over it too. So I think it like kind of adds to the character of the truck, and it's just like so cute. And then it has like this illustrated drawing of a female with a flower in her hair. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool that you would never know that window wasn't there from the beginning.
Right? Yeah. It was just I mean, honestly, and I didn't even, y'all, this is crazy, but I didn't even think about the window. I had just gone back and Joelle had put the window. I don't even think we had talked about it or whatever, but it's real. I mean, I love the window. I'm so glad we had I'm so glad with the window. And then the little awning thing, I wanted like this awning, and Jessica was like, all right, in 2 seconds, she's like sewing up this thing and like it made me this little cute awning. And I told her she needs to like patent them and make them for all these trucks because I love that little window awning. I want to make more, but I'm not the best sewer. So
no, it's super cute.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I mean, but what's amazing is you've been in business. So if my math is correct, is this going on your 6th year, or is it like your 5th year?
It would actually be going on my 5th year because I didn't actually open the truck. I bought the truck in 2011 and then I opened it in 2012. Okay. So we're going on 5 years in May.
Wow.
So almost there.
I think that'll be like a little, like a breath of fresh air, or just like people do a little happy dance, because we saw like a few conversations in the Let's Talk About Fashion Trucks Facebook group where they're like, should we do this? There's so many trucks closing. Like, is this a viable business? But I think you're an example of like, this can be a viable business. You've been in business for 5 years and it seems like you're still doing pretty good. Yeah. So I was like, thanks. Yeah. So my question to you is like, so how did you kind of get over the hump? Like, I'm sure there was like within that 5 years, some hardships where, you didn't make as many sales, or at the end of the year, you might have been under more than over. So like, how did you get through all of that?
Okay. So the first 2 years were the hardest. The first 2 years I had to have a side job. I had to do my real estate while in the truck. So it was like helping people and like leasing apartments at the same time. It was crazy. And I had to do that, and I had to hustle really hard. The first 2 years, there was many days I was like, forget this. I'm moving on. Nothing. I called my sister and I was like, because my sister owns a small business. And I was like, Lindsay, I don't know if I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And she, we had even had to talk. Well, nothing should be this stressful. I was in tears. I was melting down. I was freaking out. And I don't even cry, but I was like a mess. I mean, I do cry when it's bad. So it was bad. And I was like freaking out. But anyway, I realized that, I read my business quotes on Pinterest, because they calm me down. And I was like, okay, everybody goes through this in small business. You just got to keep working hard. And so I was like, all right, hustle, 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 have a side job, keep going, keep doing it. Your stuff's selling. It's just, it was selling, but it was hard for me to make money for myself. It was all going into business. And then finally, after 2 years, I mean, I still saw money for myself within the 2 years. I was still making money for myself. But
that's good.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I was doing good. It just after the first 2 years, I really like built relationships on where I can park, and I knew kind of the best places for me to go, and it got much better. Like after 2 years, I mean, it became much easier, and we opened 2 pop-up stores, which the side income was awesome. It definitely helped me kind of get get where I needed to be and like give me a little bit of a savings, which I did not have because I had spent it all. So anyway, it was really nice to just keep pushing forward. So I think if anybody wants to do it, definitely if you have the passion and the drive to make the leap and to actually, go get the truck and do it, I think it's going to be hard, but if you have the right business plan and you have all that, I think it's a good fit for you. I had a business plan too. So that really helps.
So you're at the point now where you can pay yourself?
Yeah, I'm at the point now. Honestly, I've been at the point for a while that I can pay bills. I can pay my rent, I can pay my bills, but that's about, for a while there, that was about it. I didn't have much savings, but now I'm actually able to do it where, I can put some aside. And I have, I'm not living super lavish. I mean, right now I pay like $500 in rent and my boyfriend helps the rest. In Houston, I was paying like $700 and I was able to do that plus my bills, which I have credit cards and I have things. So I was able to actually do it. But there are, like, I heard one girl on one of the podcasts say, if it's a rain day, you're kind of screwed in a way because you're closed down, you lose a lot of money. So those are the times where it's like, yeah, it's scary because you have to like, oh my God, I've just, you know what I mean? It's like, am I going to have rent? And, so those days are really scary. But if you just stay positive, and keep working hard and, the thing is, I think with this business is if, the more you put in, the more you can get of it. So if you just, you have a slow time, or, it rains, so you just need to work that much, you need to do 2 extra events, or something like that. So you end up learning how to kind of work it out. So
you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I was in Texas for, I guess 4 years, and then I guess 3 and almost 4 years, and then I moved to Folly Beach, South Carolina, which is where I'm at now. And honestly, to me, it's kind of been starting over here, just because it's a completely new, a new network for me, new places I have to go network with, to park at, and I have to kind of start over basically. And the good thing is about moving to Folly Beach is that I had kind of told myself that I wanted to do a truck and mortar. I don't know what they're really called, but I call it that. But I was, after moving and doing events for 4 years, it's a lot of work. And I'm like, wow, I need to figure out next step. And so I really wanted to try and find a truck and mortar situation where I could leave it and just go open up shop, put a sign in the door, these are our hours, and kind of go about it that way. So it's like basically a store without high rent. And so I was like, let me try that. If I move to Folly, this is going to be starting over, but this is my goal. I have to find a truck and mortar spot, or I won't do it, kind of thing. Well, I mean, I would do it, but it was very important to me to find a truck and mortar. And so I'd never even been here, but my boyfriend got a job here. And, so we came down one time before, and, I was like, walked in all these places. I mean, it must have been a nut, but passing out cards, asking people, hey, I have a fashion truck, and, people love it. I'm trying to sell myself, and they're like, what? And I'm like, yes, can I? Yeah, exactly. So I was like, can I, pay you guys rent to park here, and anyway, I ended up finding a little area on Folly Beach where there were already trucks, and any fashion truck, any fashion truck or like food trucks are they're our buddies. So if you see a food truck, that's good. They'll probably be accepting to fashion trucks. And we're not conflict working with food trucks. So it's always a good place to go ask. So I was like, oh, I see food trucks. This is like my in. So, yeah. So that was it. I talked to one of the guys and where the food truck parks, and sure enough, he was like, "Yes, you can." He told me, "Yes, we'll set up a deal, and you can basically park here." So it ended up working out, and I paid him rent, and I was able to park there. The only problem about this situation that I wasn't used to is being in a beach town, it's seasonal. And I didn't think about that really. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's been really tough these winter months. But the blessing is I have a mobile truck, so go do events. So I'm trying to do more events. And the good thing about a fashion truck, and that is, I'm probably one of our main things is that we are on wheels, and going to where the people are at, you're always going to make more money. Going to a festival, you're going to make more money, So it's crazy. Like doing one big festival, I can make as much as I do sitting there all week sometimes. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, but it's hit or miss. You could do amazing, or you can kind of do good, so those are always a little, you never know. But at the same time, that's the best thing about having a truck, is that you have that ability. So now I've basically been going to do events.
I was just going to ask you a little bit about you. You said like within the last 5 years that you did some pop-up stores and they were very successful. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Okay. So the first pop-up shop I did was Fashion Truck Society. Fashion Truck Collection. And it was me and 4 trucks. And we all decided, we all decided how cool would it be to have a store with 4 different trucks in it. So, and it all kind of started with Lily. Lily with Park Boutique had contacted me, and she's like, "Hey, Sarah, there's this, we had talked before about like how cool it would be to park where others, like in a shopping mall, because in certain cities that is happening, where trucks are able to do that, which is it's just pretty sweet. It's amazing that you can pay rent and park, in a mall. So, I mean, it's incredible. And that's a whole nother thing I could get on. But so Lily had told me, we'd always kind of, how cool would it be to be able to park in a mall area or whatever? And we're like, it's so neat, it'd be like our truck right there with all these other stores. But of course you don't want to make anybody mad or anything like that. So we would go with permission of the, the center. So we had gone, and she's like, "Hey, I talked to the city center, which is this really pristine place in Houston, which has tons of shopping, Free People, Urban Outfitters, everything." And so she had talked to them, and they were like, "Hey, let's have a meeting. Come by." And she called me right away, and she's like, "Oh my God!" They said, "Let's have a meeting." About parking there or something. And I was like, holy, yeah, wow, that's crazy.
It's funny when you do things and you don't expect them to go through, and then when they do, you're like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, this is real now.
Right? It's like, oh my God, pinch myself. Did that just happen? Yes, it did. Yeah. So we were totally ecstatic, and I was like, okay, let's go over there. And she asked me, which I was honored, and I was like, yes, let's go. And so we went over there, and we looked at this. Well, right when we got there, she had already kind of talked to him, I guess, before me getting there. And I guess they had said trucks are no. They will not have trucks, but they would put us in a store. And I wasn't expecting this. I thought we were bringing our trucks and all. And I was like, oh my God, okay, well, it's total different scenario, but let's look at it. So then we walk in this store, and it was like paradise. I mean, just beautiful. I was like, I was on cloud 9. I was like just jittery and happy and like, holy moly, can this be happening? And so we go in, and sure enough, the lady, we had kind of talked to her, and she said she could work us out a deal. It's temporary. It's an open-end lease. It's not going to be forever. So it'll be really good that we could afford it. And so then I talked to Lily, and I was like, even if, I talked to Lily and I said, this is huge store. Like, me and you have trucks and we don't want to stop our trucks. We're fashion trucks, we can't. And we both were like, yeah, we can't stop. That's what we are. We're fashion trucks. And so then we decided, well, we both had kind of brainstormed and we were like, let's get Corinne and Vanessa in on this, which are our two other fashion truck sisters is what I call them, because we're all like just a crew. And so anyway, I was like, we need to get some more trucks in so we can actually do this. And so we called them. They came over, looked at it. We were all for gung-ho, super stoked, about doing a pop-up on the side. And so we ended up going full in, just not even really thinking about it. Let's open a fashion truck pop-up. It's going to be huge. I don't think anybody's actually done it with a bunch of trucks, or maybe they have, I'm not sure. But anyway, we were like, let's do it. So we get a vintage trailer truck in there. We get a shoe trolley in there. We get me and another truck in there, which both had clothes and accessories. And I have some handmade stuff. So we literally have a ton of everything in there. Small business, a bunch of different artists and, vintage clothes. And it's 4 little shops in one store in the
just
middle.
Sharing. Okay.
Yeah. Right next to we were right next to 2 doors down from Urban Outfitters. And it was just so neat to see this concept happening. Like it's happening that they're letting a co-op go in a fancy center like this. But I really do think now that we've done that, I'm starting to see it more and more out there. And I think it is the only way. Yeah, I think it's the only way retail can do it, or small business can do it these days. So
that shared experience.
Yeah. I mean, they're pushing mom and pop businesses out, to be honest. And I tell any one of them to their face, rents are just getting too high. I mean, no small businesses, if you want a good place like that, it's getting too high that small businesses just can't afford to do that. I mean, unless they want to make everything in their store like $100,
Right. No,
so anyway,
seriously.
So we did it, and it was great.
Cool.
We basically did that one for 6 months, and then it was such a success. We absolutely loved it. We were like, we just loved it, and we got a lot of press from it. People, were saying that, it's the new wave of retail, which again, I think it is. I think that, if you have people you can get along with and, you can work well with, then absolutely, I would recommend it to anybody, because it's a great way to kind of get a feel for having a retail store without a huge lease. But then the downfall is that you get this extra income and then it's going to end.
Right. I know. See, Estra, all you have to do is move to the DC area and we could do this.
Right?
No, ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
So I see you sell online as well. How is that going? Are you seeing profit from that?
The online is a whole nother world. I just started online probably a year and a half ago, 2 years, and I'd always kind of juggled around with it the whole time I've been doing Urban Izzy. I was like, oh, I'm going to have an online store. Like, I want to do this. But then I didn't realize how hard. Like, I couldn't figure it out. It was hard for me to like juggle the store, juggle my side job, and figure out this, this online store thing that I'm kind of anal. So like the pictures were stressing me out. I was like, I've got to have the right picture. I got to do this. I got to do that. And
yeah, your pictures are great too, because sometimes that's what we see with even like other trucks too. Like the pictures aren't necessarily inviting or make you want to click and buy. And those are so key online, but your pictures are really good.
Thank you. I try hard, and honestly, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll change it 3 or 4 times before doing it, and I'll write something like 8 times. I mean, I still do it, but I've kind of, now that I've practiced around with it, I'm getting easier and easier, and I'm like, just push, accept or whatever, and I move on. So thank you. I appreciate that. It took honestly, it took Shopify. That's what it took. So if anybody wants an online store, go with Shopify. They're awesome. They help people like me that that aren't that computer savvy, make it work well and look good. So I use Shopify, and once I got to learn it, then it helped. As far as sales on online, holidays I did great because I pushed sales and I did this and that. But it's still it's not even close to truck sales. It's just some every once in a while. I think if you want to really do good at online, you really have to focus on primarily online. And I'm kind of just learning the online market right now. So that's something that is on my list to grow with.
Kind of leave the audience with, like, maybe the top 2 things that, if they're starting a fashion truck, that they need to keep in mind?
Okay. Yes. Let's see. Best advice I would say is love what you do. Completely love what you do. If you're passionate about something, you can go all the way, I think, because no matter how hard it is, you can always just keep pushing because you love it. And then love your merchandise, because if you love your merchandise, then you can sell your merchandise. And I mean, when somebody comes in the truck, and they come in, I tell them, I can't give you advice because I love it all, but I'll sit there and I have a passion for everything. So I'll tell them, hey, I've tried this on, it fits like this, I love it. And it, it really helps if you love your inventory. And then also set goals, be realistic with your goals. Don't make lavish goals that you can't get. Just make basic goals and really try and get those goals. I took a goal class one time. I know it sounds crazy, but basically, if you find one out there, definitely take it, because these classes are, it was great. It was a class on, how to achieve your goals, and basically kind of how to write them down. So basically you write a goal down, you put a big circle around it, and then you branch it out with a bunch of lines all over it. And then you kind of keep putting ways to get to that goal. But then you keep branching it out and saying easier ways to get to that goal. And so you're basically just making it super simple for yourself, and giving yourself ideas. So that's a good way to do it. Set goals. What else? And just work really hard at it. I think anybody can do it. And I think it's been amazing. It's definitely a stepping stone to get you to where you want to be, So for me, it has been.
And then now we just have like a few wrap-up questions just to help the audience get to know you a little bit better.
Sure.
Do you have a favorite podcast, blog, book, or TV show? And if so, what is it?
Yes. Let's see. I love y'all's. I'm literally hooked. Literally, y'all have been like amazing to me with this podcast, because I have days where I'm like, oh my God, I need to hear other people that are doing it, and right. It's just going to help me. and it does. So I love that. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for bringing that, because it's really been inspirational to hear other people that are doing it. So the y'all's podcast is amazing. And then I also like, what is it called? Heritage Radio, After the Jump.
With Grace Bonnie.
Yes, Grace Bonnie. Yeah, I've listened to that one, but I'm not a big podcast. I mean, I don't know a ton of them, to be honest. I've just heard those yours and theirs. But I read a ton of entrepreneur. I like read books and stuff like that, and quotes, and that's kind of my inspiration. I read a lot of stuff like that, and that helps me. Oh, and also back to the pop-up store. I know we totally ended this, but we opened Fashion Truck Collection first, and then Fashion Truck Society next, and that we did with.
Oh, because you only did one, right? Because you said you did two, right? So Fashion.
Yeah, we did two, and I forgot to mention the other one. But basically, it worked well, so we did another one with like 6 trucks, and it was a blast. So anyway, that had more small businesses in it and more trucks, and I forgot to mention that one. But it was it was awesome. We did have a little problem with that one with scaffolding. They had some like construction going on in front of it, which kind of killed us a little, but you learn, you live and you learn. So we kind of learned from that stuff like that can really kill sales. So anyway, but besides that, it was awesome learning experience. And, y'all can check all that out online too.
No, yeah, we'll link to it. But I think this is good for the listeners to hear, especially the ones that have other fashion trucks in the area. Like, it's like, band together, folks. You know, it's like you're stronger
Right?
in numbers. Get together and like form some type of society group. You guys could like pitch different places to like all camp out like in the parking lot or whatever, you know, but you're stronger together.
That's so true. I mean, and I connect with a lot of the trucks, and I'll call them, and it just being able to talk to other people that do what you do, because it is unique. You know, it's not a regular store. It helps a lot. You know, so just sticking together. You never know, even if it's just to chat. I mean, I chat all the time with my friends that have trucks, and we just chat, and it inspires you to want to do other things and stuff like that. And, or not other things. I love my truck, but just kind of grow it basically.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you could have any celebrity, entertainer, model, athlete, whoever, visit your mobile boutique, who would it be?
Wow. That is so tough. Let's see. We've had I would be happy with anybody that came in, because, you know, it's celebrity and all that, and make me feel, wow, you know, special. But I guess I would say Oprah, Ellen, maybe Oprah or Ellen. I love those ladies. I watch them on TV, and they always make me smile when I'm watching them, and they always have, you know, and like, I guess, inspirational stuff to talk about, and I like them a lot. I guess I would say them. Maybe Bernie
No,
Sanders.
they'd be great.
Just
Yeah.
kidding. But somebody, I don't know.
Yeah. And what do you like to do in your free time to wind down and just de-stress from work?
Let's see. I love nature. I can be kind of hyper and like all over the place all the time. So being outside calms me down. So I like to be outside, whether it be just taking a walk or going for a jog, just being outdoors, anything, is kind of like my thing to do. So I guess that would be it. Maybe going on a run, or I watch some silly TV sometimes, reality shows, and those are fun. Let's see, what else do I do to wind down? I call friends. I love that. I love to talk. Oh my God, I love to talk. Anyway, but yeah, I guess that would be it. Being in nature, going on a jog or something.
Yeah. I mean, and at least it's not, you know, in South Carolina, it's not as hot as Texas. So.
Oh my gosh, y'all, that's a whole I mean, I could literally anything truck talk, I could probably sit there and talk to you about it forever. Like, Houston's heat was just, I mean, I had somebody pass out in my truck before. It was that
Whoa.
hot. Yes. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Ambulance and all, like, just pass out. It is. And it can be hot in Houston, and it's probably the worst heat I've ever seen. You can have your air on, and it's still not going to feel. It's just hot. Yeah, the heat is brutal.
So a little, at least you're in better conditions now.
Yes, thank God. Now we have wind and sand. You have no idea. Like, I never in a million. I love the beach. It's my zen place. I was so happy to move to a beach. Like, when we had talked about it, I was like, yes, this is like our dream to move to a beach. We have to do this. You know, but I never realized sand. Like, I have sand everywhere.
Everywhere,
like,
yeah.
And it's like kind of messing with like my window, opening the window. It like gets caught and everything. And anyways, and now I bring my blow dryer to work, and I'm like a fanatic with trying to like blow out sand. Even though I love sand if my feet are in it, but like in the shop, it's driving me nuts. So.
And are you Android or iPhone? And what's your favorite app?
Let's see. I have an iPhone. So I'm definitely, and I have my computer's Apple. So I would definitely say iPhone. And the other question, app, let's see. Instagram, I guess, because I'm always on it. I think I'm addicted. It's terrible. I mean, I love it because it helps, but like, it's a problem. I wake up and I look at Instagram. I go to bed, I look at Instagram.
And you have a lot of followers too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're like almost at 10,000. It's like right there.
Thank you. I know I'm almost at that point. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to get right over that little hump. Yeah, it's taken some it's sweat, whatever the saying is, sweat, tears, whatever, it's been a lot of learning to get there. And like, every single person that comes in the truck, I tell them, please follow me. I also tell them about y'all, and I've been doing this forever, because I tell them, go look up, find a fashion truck, because, I tell them that you probably have a truck near you, and you may not even know, because some of them go out, on events or stuff like that. And so I tell them all to go to findafashiontruck.com. And I think one of the most rewarding things in owning a fashion truck is the response you get. Like when you have somebody walk in the truck that's never seen one, which is like, I'd say like 70% of the people, it is such a cool feeling for them to walk in and be like, oh my God, this is on wheels. This is so cool.
Right. It's like, what is this? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I give them the whole explanation. It's fashion truck, pop-up shop. I kind of, tell them what it is. And basically, I tell them to go on Find a Fashion Truck so they can see them all, because I said there's so many of them.
And the final question is, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail?
Oh, wow. Let's see. I'm kind of like, I don't know if all entrepreneurs are this way, but I have I have a zillion ideas in my mind. And there's so many good ones that I really want to just like take the leap and do, that are big, not big, but bigger than what I've done. And, I think for me, it would be to do one of those at least. But again, I'm just like, I dream about them. I think about all these ideas. It's crazy. I have all these crazy ideas. And so I think it would be probably, if I could do one of those, I'd be very happy.
And then where can the listeners find you?
They can go to urbanizzy.com. So they can go urbanizzy.com, or they can go to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, all those good ones. We're on there. And what else? Oh, our website, urbanizzy.com. But yeah, they can pretty much find us at our website or any of our social media places. So please come visit us. We would love it. And we have a lot of new things coming. I'm going to start carrying shoes and denim in the next couple of months. That's probably 2 months. I'm so excited to branch into that. And I don't know where we're going to be in March. We're probably moving again. So stay tuned to see where we're going next, because there's probably another move happening. So
cool. Well, thank you. We're so glad to have you on. And I'm sure this, especially for boutiques that even have been around like a couple of years, like to hear your story and know you've been around in 5, and even though you've moved to a different place, you're just kind of going with the flow, will be really inspirational.
Thank you. Y'all are amazing. Keep up the amazing work. Like I love listening to y'all's podcast, and I follow y'all now too. So I love that.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. So if you get nothing else from this episode, and I feel like we have said this in many episodes before, it is all about the community, getting with other fashion trucks, or even like connecting with the food truck community and working together to get business and figure out where you can park and where the festivals are. But, I always say this is like, no matter what business you're in, you're always stronger in numbers. So look for other trucks that you can partner with.
Exactly. And that is what Sarah did when she started with the pop-up stores. She created the Fashion Truck Collection, which is a group of a total of 4 trucks, including Urban Izzy. And they got together to do the pop-up inside of a store. And that was in Texas. And then when she was in, then the next time she did the Fashion Truck Society. And that was actually a group of 6 trucks and other sellers inside of a store to create a pop-up. So it's all about networking and just getting into your community and find out who can you work with.
So yeah, guys, another thing that I love too is that she's been in business for 5 years. I think she is proof that you can run a successful fashion truck business for multiple years in multiple states too.
Yeah. And even though she did say that the first 2 years were the hardest, she even had to get a side job to kind of make things manageable financially. But it was doable for her. And she eventually got to the point where she was able to, ditch the side job and do the truck full time. So it's just going to be different for everybody, but it's always going to be harder in the beginning. You have to know that. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. But thank you again for coming on to the show. We really appreciate it. And thank you for sharing all of your knowledge.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to go to iTunes and leave us an excellent rating and a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it.
And if you have not already, check out the Studio 78 podcast. Okay, thank you. It's my new podcast, and Estrelle is a regular guest on there. And we just had a couple episodes ago an excellent, a funny episode talking about friends and family.
All right, guys. Thanks for parking here.
Bye.